So these outer planets, you don't see them exactly directly in your chart. You begin to sense their presence and you begin to see how they work through your life. We'll see them perhaps more clearly in the houses. We'll certainly see them, how they affect the aspects. And when we're looking at the basic attitude, generational attitudes, everyone for 15 to 20 years is going to have Neptune in the same sign. Okay, and so any great dream, any great expectation, any messianic vision, any sense of belief, any sense of something that's bigger than me. I mean, whatever's out there in the world. Really, the world itself is really the illusion of Maya. And here's me and my little heart, my little candle burning, that's my inner light, that's my being. That really, then I have, everything goes out to my sun, to my confidence. Then I take energy and we build a sphere, a matrix outside of yourself with Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. But then there's all the other people's matrices and all the other people I'm relating to that go beyond our Saturn. And, whoa. Then you start running into Neptune factors. And really, it can be gossip, it's easy to be deceptive or evasive or elusive where Neptune is. It's easy to interpret things wrong or look at things to magnify them more than they should be. Magnify the good more than they should be. I'm the savior of everyone. Magnify the bad. I'm so guilty. Mea culpa, mea maximum culpa. I'm so guilty. I'm so sad. I did everything wrong. I can't do it. I may as well have the drink to have the happy hour or something to cut it off. So sorrow is included in this. Neptune's like hanging around the country and western bar. You're going to expect sad songs, sad, difficult stories. Nobody's lucky. Here it is. Blues, bluesy stuff. Poor me. This, I'm the victim. I'm the sad one. Or let's help the victims. Let's help the sad ones. These are all Neptune factors. Usually it works best when it's trying to help others, be dedicated, and be of service to others. In that way, it's a very humble and dedicated side. But it takes a lot of maturity to grow up to get to where you want to actually help people, where you want to help some valid injustice or some valid thing. It could be just you want to be part of a dance troupe, or you want to be part of the theater, or you want, or you got to play baseball. Everyone's got dreams, and then we try and work up to it. So Saturn is as much as we can do to build up to it. Sometimes some excitement and excellence breaks through from Uranus, and sometimes the belief, we're going to go there, we're going to go there. I mean, if you take the World Series or a Stanley Cup or a big competition of two countries, we believe we're going to be the best in the world. We're going to be the best in the world, and one of the two is not going to be the best. Did they get there honestly, dishonestly? Neptune factors. But there's going to be great expectations and great sorrows or great losses. What should I have done? What shouldn't I have done? Well, we do that with every little thing in our life. So our Mercury picks it up. We think we're measuring what's going on. How do you measure things you can't control of? How do you watch gossip? I mean, news is basically gossip of what's going on around in the world. It's the privilege of whoever's in the position to give out the information. Everybody believes it, or not everybody, but a lot of people believe it, and it goes on, but it's not necessarily exactly what's happening. It's one person's interpretation of something big. In the 60s, I left home. I was living in Haight-Ashbury and Greenwich Village and stuff. I've read people who, I know a lot of people around there, when I read people who've written books about the time, boy, people were in very different spaces and interpretations of what went on at any time. This is Neptune. And it's a puzzle. Something's not as it seems. Something's evasive. Something weird in the neighborhood. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. Something's strange. It can lead to psychic psychic is really moon factors, but you add Neptune to it. It's expansive. It's a gas planet. It's an expansive planet. It can add mystical insights, but if it's connected with Venus or Jupiter or stuff, it can really increase weight and increase the size of it. It expands things like Jupiter. but expands it beyond. I mean, Jupiter's enough of a problem when it comes to overindulging or expanding. Neptune adds it even another level. Everybody's doing it. How can I stop it? Neptune really often puts it to the point of addictions or obsessions or evasions or nothing. You put your exact, you get a cold, you start feeling sick, you don't know what exactly it is. And you try and find something. Everybody's got a different solution and you're more confused than ever about what it is. You expect the medical community will know what you got, know what to do, and not everybody knows. This puzzle, this haunting point, this haunting nerve, this haunting sensitive point in the chart that when it's active, it can throw fog and confusion around the whole chart, around your whole life. Fortunately, it's not seen that much. It only has certain times when it comes up in our life that becomes prominent, but it is there within our nature. Not the most obvious thing. You can know somebody and you think they're the most handsome person or most beautiful person in the world, and then you get close, you find out they're gay or they're alcoholic or they're drunk or something's not, then something's not being held together that well. So the issues of dependency, codependency, AA and Al-Anon, the addictions need the help from their dependencies, but so do the people who are addicted to being with the addicted person. Why do they stay? And they get into dependencies that have to work through certain problems and certain mechanics. So there are anything huge, vast that starts affecting us. Racial things, socially conscious things, mystical things, beliefs, disbeliefs, addictions. These come up and fix. Everybody gets pulled in one way or another. So a whole generation picks up a certain belief set, and then it'll work through each person as that goes through the 30 degrees and takes the time to go through the sign. It works its way through into each person's individual life in unique ways, through certain houses, through certain ways, and we all have different ways that, even though here it is, it still affects us different ways. Neptune weakens. It can make someone very weak. It can make someone sick. It can make someone guilty. It can make someone fully believe. It will make someone like feel like they can heal everything. So it's there in the mystical healer's chart. It's there in the victim's chart. I once tried to do a research on violent aspects, and it turns out I found out that there's a violent aspect be there, and some people will put it out, dish it out. Some people will take it out. Violence will happen to them. The same aspect can be in a murderer's chart or a saint's chart, and you can't assume before you know in Neptune, where Neptune is in someone's chart, something's not as it seems. This generation has this spaced out, or has this quality about it. But this is a 15 years. It's really almost 15 to 20 years. It's almost like 2 generations. Like, but let's just call 15 to 20 years 1 generation. Then it's you got Uranus is 7 years, where you have the fashion trends and excitement trends, the shocking trends. This is going to the full level of it, going out to the dream of it, or being disoriented by it, or buying into the confusion of things. Like everyone in the 50s, when Neptune was going through Libra, they had their dream marriage after war, and they had to have their cottage, their house, their kid, and they had the belief of what the natural life should be like. My Three Sons, the TV show, is just what it should be like. And then some people haven't lived it, and some people didn't live up to it. And as other generations come in, whoa, there's a very different attitude to it. So Neptune's a puzzle, but we'll try and interpret it as romance and adventure. Simply, what's beyond the walls of the house? What's beyond the walls of the edge of this body? What's out there? How can we really know it? Is there a God? Is there not a God? Is all of these things? So often you'll see the pumped up faith or belief, often you see the sorrow from disbelief, or the guilt or the sorrows around it. But it's usually big things or pathetic things. And the pathetic things lead one, the greatest sorrows and dependencies in our life, once we dealt with them, they help us to help other people get out of, we wouldn't wish those sorrows on others, we try to help other people. How can anyone be starving on the planet? And we're sitting eating things. You know, like, life's a puzzle. What should we do? What do I believe in? How much do I believe in myself? Your confidence is your son. But how much do you believe in yourself out in the world that there's something meaningful that you can do anything? Or maybe you can just hide away watching TV or playing video games and you don't have to deal with all the confusion that's out there that you don't know how to figure it out. Okay, so all right, let's see. Let's just start with the signs and we'll work our way through it. And again, if we have questions and things that come up, write them down and you can try and deal with them at the end. Usually we've had too much information by the end of a session and I'm just trying to focus and tune in to carry the content going out. But we might have an extra, I may stick an extra class in here between Christmas and New Year's for questions and answers. If people just generally want to talk about things, we can see what happens and play one open-ended with everybody open and see where it goes. Okay, so the first category, daylight's increasing or nighttime's increasing. So when the daylight's increasing from Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, the belief system is going to believe that I'm going to make it better. I'm going to get more free. I'm going to be more independent. I got to reach out and get more free. So the beliefs go to doing one's own. I'm believing I'm going to be more free. I'm going to be more independent. Or the disbelief is, I'll never get this. I'll never be independent. Look at the way the system's going. Look at the way the world's ruined. How can I ever do anything? So it can be positive or negative belief. But we're really trying to believe in ourselves. This daylight increasing. It's just gone through Capricorn, Aquarius. It's in Pisces now. So it's been a more social factors of what movements are going on in the world. Where is it? Now it's in Pisces. We're wondering how the world can even hold together with all these idiots and all the things going, all the misinformation we're getting. People don't even know what truth is on the media or not. So all of this is built up through the Neptune. By the time Neptune goes in Aries, people are going to believe in impulse and rebellion and fighting against things and going for things. It's going to be that, and then in Taurus and Gemini, that belief system is going to become much more for the individual and towards the individual at a time in the world where it's hardly that. So the peak of the group factors or team factors will come to, like, I want to get out of the world thing, but it's hard with Neptune because it's tied into it. But this momentum to how do I believe in myself? What am I going to do? Am I increasing? Do I believe I'm becoming more independent, more free? Do I believe I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 30? I got to make my money on the web. I'll set up the big themes. And millions of people believe they're going to have $1 million by the time in a few years. Maybe 5 or 10 people have it, and millions are wondering what happened. So, but the onus is on pushing to find your own vision a little bit more, to do your own thing, to make your belief happen, to push it a little bit more. And this is going to get stronger and stronger. So the need for independent belief in independence, it's almost contradictory to the globalization of trying to make the whole world run together. There's going to be more accentuation on individual countries, not on more togetherness, at least on a belief level.